Everyone, Hans here, and today another video on how you can use Clay to build your own intent data source. So in today's video, we're going to build an intent data source for SEO services, which is, in my personal experience, historically, one of the very most difficult services to sell over cold email or cold outreach in general. So today we're going to be building a source of people, of companies who are actively looking for an SEO expert, so to hire an SEO expert or for help with building backlinks, etc., so that you can reach out only to people who are actually looking for your services. And I'll show you a way to do all of that automatically and then enrich all these companies or these people using Clay and then automatically add them to your smart lead campaign while also personalizing the email that you'll be sending them. So let's dive in. So here's the table that we're building. I will walk you through exactly what's in there in just a second. But the idea is that we're using Upwork to find people looking for SEO experts. Then you could obviously reach out on Upwork, but you could also have this running in the background and reach out to people outside of Upwork by identifying which company is actually posting the job advert on Upwork or the job request on Upwork, and then enriching that with contact information and reaching out. So to give you an idea of the type of search that we put together, this is a search that I just really quickly put together where people are looking for an SEO expert that will, and obviously you can adjust that for whatever your budget is. I would imagine that ideally you're looking for people who are at the 5K plus range. Then you can select by location and anything else that makes it a good and exciting job for you. And then SEO expert is obviously just one search term. So you want to construct as many search terms as possible and then scrape all of them so that you're capturing all of the intent that's out there. And then what we're doing, imagine we don't have an Upwork account and we want to, move away from Upwork because of their ridiculous fees that they charge for having you use their platform. Then what we can do, oftentimes people in their job description, like this one, for example, they say, okay, we are a company called Pepzot Software, or they mention their company website, for example. So those are all things that we can then use to identify their company, obviously, and to at times even identify the owner or the person who posted a job. So to give you an idea of, first of all, that looks like in Clay. So here we have all the job descriptions that we get in there. So here there's a company website in there. Then let's see, in this case, this person even posted their full name in there, I believe. There we go. So he even posted his title and his full name in there, so we can obviously easily find that person. Now, this is something that I know a lot of people and a lot of companies do manually, but ideally we want to automate this and just have this running in the background. So that's exactly what we're doing. So we're using a tool called Simple Scraper to every hour, for example, or every day, grab this page right here. Now, you can either account for different pages or say, okay, I'm going to do it every hour. So I would imagine that if I set this to 50, just scraping the first page is fine. I didn't account for that in this scraper, but that's, 10 seconds more to set it up as well. So basically it grabs all the listing links that fit the search. Then you want to feed this into another simple scraper that grabs the description. So you set this up to run every hour, every 30 minutes, for example. Then you send it, for example, to a webhook in Make, and that Make webhook will trigger the description grabber. So that will actually trigger the next scraper, which then grabs the job description, and then through another webhook, it will send that to Clay. Then here in Clay, what we're doing, we have a prompt right here that just to make sure that this is, like fully AI powered, we had GPT actually write most of this prompt for us. And actually, this part, I should take that out. Then what we're doing is we're taking the job description and we're analyzing that. It was saying analyze the following job description, identify as a full name of a person, mention the name of a company or a website URL. Now we can tweak this a little bit. Instead of saying the name of a company, ask it to identify the company that is actually posting this. Because as you can see, in some cases, or if you're just saying find any website URL, in some cases it will grab like wix.com or Shopify. Now we can account for that because we'll know, okay, you know what, it will usually be like Google, Wix, Shopify, those types of companies that have been mentioned. So let's just make sure that we filter those out here in Clay. But you can also try and optimize the prompt a little bit to get that out before you even get to Clay. And otherwise, at some point, some bad fits are gonna get in there. You need to update your filter list and everything. So you could either optimize the prompt and take a bit more time for that, or you can just say, hey, I'm going to filter out like Shopify, Wix, Google, and in Clay, or whatever tool you're using for this. Because I'm using Clay just because I find it a great tool to work with, but there's a lot of other ways I've in the past set this up using different tools as well. So we'll tell it to give it to us in JSON format, which just makes it a lot easier for us to then grab the right columns. So we'll tell it, okay, extract the full name or give us like null if you cannot find anything. Then the actual job description. And then one thing that's important, you want to make sure that this show return as structured format in JSON mode, that is set to on. Then it will give us that JSON, and then we can turn that into. So then you go on that onto that JSON, and it will load it, and then in response you can simply add as a column, add as a column, add as a column. Then we have company name, website, and full name if we're lucky. Oftentimes you'll only have a company, for example. So then what we're doing next is we're telling it if there's no website present, but only a company name, then find the domain for that company. Now, the match rate on that is not great, and it will give you some bad fits as well. This company, for example, I looked it up. They started the company 10 days ago. So there's obviously absolutely zero online presence except for this one business aggregator that apparently automatically scrapes newly found companies and lists them. So there they have their name mentioned. So this part of the workflow, you could leave it out if you're not okay with having some false positives, I suppose, in there, or you can leave it in there just to increase your match rate, but have a slightly higher error rate. That is obviously completely up to you. So if it doesn't find a website, we will try and find a website and use that to find the right email for our contact there. Then if there's a full name and a website, we can obviously just go ahead and find a work email. If there's no website, we'll find a website. If there's just a company name, and if there's a website but no name, then we'll try and find every single email there. And then we can either just send to so actually I should set this to, excuse me, I should set this to professional. So here we'll find any other professional email. So it will find just who, like it could be John or Emmy or whoever is listed there. And then what you could do is you can then try and find a job title for that person, or you could email that person and say, hey, it looks like you're maybe looking for an SEO expert. Are you the right person to contact? That could be your angle there if you're not sure what that person's job title is. So it will find any professional email for that company. Now, if nothing is found, it will try and find the company on LinkedIn, so that if you find it on LinkedIn, you can then find their employees on LinkedIn. Then if it doesn't find anything on LinkedIn, then we'll scrape the website and look for generic emails, phone numbers, and we can also add things like social links. So you could also say, okay, then if all else fails, I will reach out on Instagram, for example. So you can add this, and you could, well, no need to rename it. So that way you have as high as a match rate as possible. So you will, find the company, find the contact. If you cannot find the contact, try and find the company again to then, like reverse things and then search that way. If you cannot find the company, then scrape the website, find generic email, phone number, and social URL, and you can potentially reach out there. That's going to have to be done manually. You could obviously add these emails to your campaign as well. There's obviously no issue with that. Or you can just mark them. So you could say, okay, I'm going to set up a router for the ones that have a professional email. They can go into Smartly. Ones that don't have a professional email, but they do have either a phone number or Instagram account, they can go into a Google Sheet or into our CRM, and then our reps will manually reach out there. I will manually reach out there. That's clearly up to you. So you can have this running in the background, and whenever there's a new job being posted on Upwork, it will try and identify which company posted that, which person posted that, which person you should be reaching out to. Then it will send that either to Smart Lead or to you, depending on what was found. And it will even help you personalize the email. If you want, based on the job description, you could say, hey, I saw that you were looking for an SEO expert to help outrank a site on Google, to develop and implement effective on-page and off-page, etc. So in my experience, whenever people see that, hey, you found me on Upwork, but you're reaching out here, they're a little bit reluctant to respond. So you could just say, hey, looks like maybe you're looking for an SEO expert, or even mention that. Just say, hey, I can help you with your SEO. And then chances are they're thinking, oh, you know what, that's a big coincidence. I'm actually just looking for someone. And they'll actually hopefully book that call with you if they haven't hired anyone from Upwork yet. So that's the SEO and template using Upwork. There are obviously a lot more sources you can use except for Upwork, but this is the easiest one to set up and automate. Now, I'll put a link to the actual table in there as well. So in the post on here, so you can duplicate it and you can try it for yourself. The simple scraper ones I cannot share, but they're simple to set up, and obviously there are a lot of other tools that you can use to scrape things like Upwork. So hopefully that was helpful. If you have any questions, then obviously feel free to ask. I'll be right here. For now, thanks for watching, and hopefully see you in the next one. Bye bye.